Pikmin 2 is chaos. Pikmin 1 is just anarchy.
Yeah, the tripping stuff, like that should have been play tested out of the game. Just
It's also just like
there's
there's like
no
a
way around
little
that.
bit of stuff was like is be one thing, but like the tripping, the frequency of the tripping, it's like guys.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like how frequent it is, because in Pikmin 2 it can happen, but it's so incredibly rare that it's like fine, we don't care.
All
And
right.
also losing one Pikmin doesn't ruin the game in Pikmin 2.
Okay. Hi, we are live.
Oh, we're live! Wow, awesome. Thank you,
Oh,
Hi.
Pi.
Twitch.
So, today we got, I think it's our last match from Winners Round 2
Yeah.
of Urban versus Max.
Let's go.
And on commentary today here, we have Cap and Teddy.
Hello.
Hi, can you stream? Can you virtual cam onto
Ooh, yes, thank you for reminding me.
onto whatchamacallit? That'd be great.
Discord, yeah. Perfect.
Perfect. And then of course maybe post in the the community Twitch is live. Nice.
All right, so are both of our races ready to go here?
Yep, all good to go.
Great.
All
Perfect.
right.
Yep.
With that, we'll give a
Is
countdown
everyone
and
ready
get
for a
this started.
countdown? Okay, do we want to count down from 3, guys? Are both runners ready?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay,
Right.
well, I'm going to count down from 3, and then you both hit A when I say go, right?
That
3,
works.
2, 1, go!
All right,
And
good
we're
luck,
off.
Max.
everyone.
Fuck.
Good luck.
Perfect. We'll wait for them. There's going to be a little bit of stream delay. They're actually pretty close together. Okay, that's good.
Okay,
If one of them
yeah.
really lags far behind, or if one lags, then maybe Pi can just like refresh their stream on the feed. But yeah, this is going to be really close. This is of course Urban and Max, who have very close payoff debt PBs themselves. And Urban, of course, kind of holistically runs many categories, where Max runs sort of mostly just payoff debt, although he's been doing a little bit more AT as of late. So, there's definitely a lot of arguments for both people coming out on top, but it's gonna be pretty interesting.
Somehow they've actually got back in sync. One of them had better tech smashing. Looks like Max is having faster tech smashing than Urban so far.
Max,
It's 2 though.
yeah, but Urban was able to get the whistle out faster here, and he only has 1 Pikmin, which makes it a little bit more consistent. So Urban's gonna pull ahead a little bit here. And that's just the difference between 1 and 2. But they both did it pretty quickly. I'll be interested to see day end if Max can catch, because that's usually see if someone can catch based on day speed, but it doesn't look like Max has like much faster days. Like you can normally tell if someone has much faster days if their day end is faster, but it seems like their loads are pretty equal, which is really great. I mean, sometimes because of the variable loadings, you hate to see if one person has much faster loads than someone else, because you want the race to be pretty even, you know.
PTSD from Friday. Anyways.
Yeah. So there's a little bit more variation that can come up here. So the first thing to look at is posies. Even though this is a set seed race, the posies aren't going to be exactly the same. For example, you'll see that maxes are, actually, maybe the posies are the same. Those look very similar. I don't know if that's just luck or if something happened, but
that should be just luck, since the overworlds are basically, they have the same variance as enemy spawning, but it's not seed determined.
it's not seed. Yeah, and I mean the seed is advancing in the above ground. It's only set right when cave generation happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's luck though. I mean that's nice because those posies can add a little bit of variation as well into day 2. Nice, and Urban does a really good job of luring the bulb orbs. Both of them do actually. So I don't know if these people have gentlemaned into not doing Louis skip. It seems like something that Urban would and Max would kind of be okay with, but I'm not sure. We will see very shortly if Urban even attempts to go for it. No, it doesn't look like he's doing that. Okay. Yeah. Doesn't look like Max is doing it either. Okay, so it seems like they've gentlemaned out of doing Louis skip, which makes sense. I'm thinking about gentlemaning Louis skip versus Kemi as well. I think when it's close, it can be a little bit challenging or like tricky to go for. I mean, and also like if someone misses it, then it puts them way behind, and I think neither of them really want that stress. So that makes sense. I'm saying that we didn't gentleman's agreement beforehand, Curtis, which we probably should have done. I probably should have asked you about it at all. So all that's on me. I'll apologize for that one, King. Damn, Pi, don't be like that. Jeez. Max saved a little bit of time here, I think, on the posies, but Urban is still holding a pretty strong lead. All my opponents have gotten Louis skipped so far. Skill
Feels
issue.
bad, man.
Skill issue. So Urban is still maintaining a little bit of lead. Urban has been playing really well recently in his attempts. You know, he's gotten almost the PB. So Urban, it's safe to say, is very well prepared for this. You know, he's been practicing. He's been putting in the work. Max also has been playing, but he's taken breaks as well. Which, you know, but he also has been playing pretty fast recently. I still think that this is probably going to be even, because there's definitely certain things that Max excels with in Payoff Debt specifically. And there's a lot of things, of course, that Urban excels with just by, you know, by being an excellent runner in his own right. And now in this above ground, this is where there's a little bit more minor execution here, where you can maybe see someone exchange the lead. Urban historically has had many strengths, but hasn't really had the same top level early game that you see in other runners. But recently, he's really improved on his early game. Like, he's really focused on like getting closer times, and so I don't think he's going to run up as much of a deficit as you normally see here.
Right. Small optimizations like that, Urban not knocking down the second 5 pellet in one shot, because that stacks the pellets that the sprouts all come out before the second pellet gets in. Little minor optimizations like that.
That's absolutely right, Teddy. So yeah, he's doing that intentionally. He intentionally doesn't get the one shot on the second 5. Oh, sorry. So now we're doing egg push. So far, these guys have kept it very, very, very close still. I'm actually kind of... I mean, this is not a super RNG and super variant section yet, but it is nice to see exactly how close this is going to be. So one thing here is that there's a little bit of variance sometimes in how how the plucking goes, because of course the plucking speed determines how fast they come out and how far the different sprouts are separated, you know, because like walking and stuff. So it looks like, but it looks like Urban actually had some fine sprouts. He actually had better sprouts than Max. So that's
double
gonna be
ground
a little
nectar.
bit of time save. Yeah, Max had some awkward plucking. But Max only had one nectar, which I find to be a little bit easier to react to. So that's nice.
I think both got all Pikmin flowered though, so the nectar didn't really matter.
Curtis, he hits a
Oh no, he's
27-1x every day. I mean, I know that. I'm saying that that's his improvement. He's gotten a lot better at it since he's gotten a lot better at it just like in the last couple weeks. Like in the last month, he's gotten a lot better at it. And it's not a dig, right? Like, everyone has strengths and weaknesses. I mean, Urban has been strong in so many other regards that he hasn't even needed to have the same kind of early game that other runners have had. But it's like he recently has really turned that up, and he's been getting results. I'm saying that in a good way. You know, it's improvement. Gotta love the eyeballs on Louis.
Fun fact, those are actually their own model as part of the cutscene.
Right, it is in fact Louie's eyes. Wait, yeah. It's funny when they're separated, though. It's a fun little quirk. Because of Louis skip, you don't see that a lot in all the other runs. And I think that's a shame. There is a Louis Eyes FFZ emote that at some point, when someone's broadcasting, should log on to FFZ and get some of those Pikmin emotes in the community channel. Especially now that it's kind of being used a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Any case, still really close. Like, we're talking, I don't know, maybe within 10 seconds of each other? Maybe less?
Urban enters at 8:32.
Yeah, Curtis, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. Sorry, say that again?
They're actually only like 6.5 seconds apart, which is
Yeah,
kind of
6.5.
crazy.
This is mad close. So to start, this is close citrus, which is nice. It's a little bit easy to execute. Urban opts for loading the citrus a little bit early. There are a lot of advantages to doing this, mainly that you don't have to. You can focus on killing. You can focus on killing the bulborbs basically, like after you load the bottle cap, because then you know that the citrus is already moving. The downside, though, is that I like C-sticking just to make sure that I'm getting the cat moving first, because that's the farthest one. So there's kind of several schools of thought in that regard. But Max still looks like he got the thing up first. Ooh, Max got the
Oh, bug
cutscene
body.
here, which is going to introduce more lockout, which is going to lose him some time. But Urban is going to have to play that cutscene on sub-level 2. So there's a little bit of unrealistic time. Urban looks more ahead right now than he is.
Did Max just lockout skip the lid? Hold up. Oh,
No,
wait.
he almost did. He was smart enough not to.
Good thing.
And paying off debt, you shouldn't be mashing A until the last treasure comes in, you know?
Yeah.
Like, don't be doing that. Urban, no!
Oh, God. The stream's lagging, but he's still ahead.
A little bit of stream lag. Oh, it's all good. I mean, they also have their internal timers. There is a very real chance, by the way, that this becomes neck and neck, so getting the actual official time from both runners is probably going to be important.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, it's hard to predict how close these are going to go, you know, but I think this is... Oh, sorry, go.
Pikmin 2 is enough of a volatile game where we can have massive swings.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I was super nervous that Urban was going to get a purple Eaton.
That was so close.
Did he... Oh, Lord. Wait, did he lose a Pikmin somewhere? I noticed he only has 52 instead of the 53 that you're supposed to have. Lost a red earlier. I must have missed the red loss. I was looking at Max's screen at that point. I suppose. I mean, not that it matters. I mean, one Pikmin is obviously nice to have, and like Urban will maybe incur a couple of small time losses compared to Max for it, but it's not a big enough deal that, I mean, no one's crying over it. Nice. So here's the cutscene that Max isn't going to have to play, so now they're a little bit on even footing. But even then, Urban seems to be... See, so Max has 4 more Pokos. No, or Max has 6 more Pokos than Urban does. Of course, Urban is still rocking a pretty sizable lead, but it's not... Sizable is relative, you know? Like, it still is, it's like, still like 7-8 seconds. So the fact that he actually has much more money is probably going to, it actually means that Max is not as far behind as you'd originally think.
Yeah, different amounts of Pokos can make time lost or time save. Sometimes, it's like, they're sometimes fake, like in Whole Beast 1, you either have bad good RNG or good bad RNG with the Poco money, so it's all relative.
Yeah, I mean, you have to get money eventually. Like, Urban's gonna have to get those 6 Pokos somewhere where Max doesn't, right? Which is going to maybe incur losses, maybe it doesn't, you know? But yeah, it's part of the thing. Or you can be Urban and get bad RNG. Luckily with Set Seed, Urban doesn't have the massive nerf of being Urban. Or if he does, then Max also has the massive nerf of being Urban.
Well, you could get TCB and get the bridge glitch, which would be very unfortunate. But
Yeah, let's not manifest that, shall we?
yeah, definitely not.
So Urban has been doing a pretty fast version of this enter. I'll be interested to see if Max emulates it at all, but recently, many of us, including myself, have been converted that Urban just does the split probably the best. Hiccup.
Massive nerf of being American. Yeah, NA RNG is, as we know, it's worse than European RNG.
Nice. Really good behavior from the red Pikmin there. Killing
Yeah.
the Sugarobes.
Very rare
So-
that you can just walk away and let the Pikmin grab.
Yeah. So Urban's doing the right thing here where he plucks, he doesn't wait for other things to get in, because it's just, the most important thing is just getting Pikmin on this gate on the second volley. And the earlier that you get Pikmin over here, the earlier you can run back. And so Max will be probably bringing more Pikmin to the gate, but you see how much later he's bringing Pikmin to the gate? It's not worth it. Urban's gonna have to pluck more Pikmin here, but it doesn't matter, because he's already loaded. While he's plucking the second round, more Pikmin are on the gate than normal. So... I don't think it's proportionate. And we'll see. I'm curious to see if Urban saves, if Urban increases his lead here. I mean, it's looking like it is, right? I mean, you see how Urban's played this, and he's now already he's already put all of the Pikmin that he wants to on the gate, whereas Max is still kind of loading Pikmin on here. Did Max go for the nit kill? That's that's an interesting decision. Maybe he doesn't feel comfortable about that in the race, but that is going to lose him some time.
Yeah, he didn't go for early nit kill. Maybe he wants to keep. Maybe he's scared of losing a red, but like still, that's some time loss.
Yeah, I mean it's a pretty significant amount of time loss actually. Look, he's standing there having to kill the nit. I mean, Urban really cleaned him on this split, to be honest. Like, maybe he's now 10 seconds ahead? I mean, when I say cleaned, I mean he saved 2 seconds over Max. You know what I mean? Like, these are still really tight games. It's just, you know, in a race this tight, 8 seconds, yeah. In a race this tight, though, I mean, those, like, losing 2 seconds on an enter is gonna matter. You know, it's 2 seconds more that you know, Max has to execute over Urban.
We're gonna be Chaz
and just not kill the nit. Whenever we obsolete Healing Cask is the answer.
So yeah, Max is around 10 seconds behind, but has 5 more Pokos than Urban.
Right. So, I mean, this is why it gets a little bit tricky. You kind of want 2 Pokos per second, so I usually say that those 5 Pokos are like 3 seconds. Roughly.
Well, Miss Healing Cask is really lucky. I mean... Sure.
I mean, I think the cool thing about the nit kill is that it doesn't lose much time. I don't know. I mean, that's the magic of it. Like, I would understand the theory if somehow Max actually, like, saved a lot of time on that floor. Maybe it was the RNG of the sprout plucking, but he actually, like, caught Urban a little bit on that sub-level, too. I don't really know how. Because that's supposed to not be...
I'm guessing his sprouts were just closer together.
Yeah, also there's a thing where Urban's stream has lagged occasionally, and it might make it... This is why, again, I think that it'll be really important to get their final times. Because
Yeah.
if Urban's stream is lagging a little bit, it means that he might be artificially. He might be like it might be artificially closer than it looks like.
Yeah.
Urban has no choice but to kill the nit. Sad if true. Max, I feel like, was a little bit more urgent on getting the Pikmin onto the mandala. Not the mandala. Mahjong tile. Mandala is something else. We'll see. So yeah, he seems to only be... Again, it's hard with the stream lag, but he seems to now only be 5 seconds behind Urban. Or something like that. Yeah, so I think he was a little bit more urgent on 3. Upcoming is 4, which is, as we know, kind of the first somewhat not complicated level. I don't want to say complicated, but it's far more complicated than, like, 1, 2, or 3. So that's where you'll start to see some variance here.
Yeah,
Nice.
basically the first level where you have to use part of your brain. This orange is actually really good.
Yeah, this is really good. He just has to go get the, he just has to go get the, whatchamacallits. And good recognition here. Seeing where that is. So that's good recognition.
And Max also knew he just had to check the outcome with the hole. Lost a little bit of time because he didn't see that when Urban
You didn't
did
see the
it.
hole as quickly as Urban did, yeah. That's good. That's a good observation. Is there a world in which you get Matites first? Potentially. I think the thing is Urban knows that it's not worth it to get it. Let's see if Max waits. Max should wait because Max shouldn't wait either because he has less. Yeah, Max also doesn't think it's worth it. It's on layouts like this. Is a world where you get Matites first. It's hard because like that means you have to bring all of your purple leaves over there. And do you wanna do that? I hope Urban gets this. Nice. Good job. So Urban gets this, and of course I always like rewarding doing good things, and so Urban is going to get rewarded for
Max
getting
also
past
gets
Empress. It is actually like a solid like 4 or 5 seconds to do fastest.
Wow, that gauge placement.
But Max got a little bit mailed here by having a really good gauge placement. So that's going to probably offset a little bit of his time loss from doing a less optimal Empress.
Yeah, no, to Max's 6 Pokas ahead going into Holy Beast, so he really didn't need the extra 10.
Yeah. Oh, well, that is a little bit of the... Unfortunately, even in set seed, there is no escaping the luck. But Urban is still kind of getting rewarded for... It pushed the head forward. Yeah, if it got pushed back, it would have been terrible placement. So, yeah, so Max is 5 Pokos ahead. And about 6 Pokos back. Oh, sorry, 6 seconds back. So, I mean, they're pretty even, I think. Which is good. I mean, it's nice that even to this point you have, you know, again, it highlights how close this race is.
Where is Max? It's one of his
Ooh,
purple.
Max
Okay.
with a little bit of fidgeting. Like, the purples... He didn't really manage his squad quite as well as Urban did, and he's actually going to incur some losses here for that. Some people, namely Jack and maybe even Kemi, don't like splitting on this sub-level. I don't like not splitting on above grounds. I think it is kind of important to see how small variations in your gameplay affect things. So by not splitting the above ground, I think you lose information there. Like, maybe Max thought that was fine, but he actually did lose a number of seconds to Urban on, like, ostensibly what should be, like, a pretty simple, straightforward. I mean, you know, even on things that seem very simple and straightforward, like, it's always worth getting stuff. I don't know what the layout is, and if it doesn't make sense for him to grab one, it's fine, but this is an example of a time where Urban should think kind of preemptively about getting a Blowhog. Max 2, honestly. Like, when you're low on Pokos here, like, if you don't have a lens run, you really want to farm bodies in Perplexing Pool as opposed to having to bank on Cookie or Master's Instrument or Love Nugget. Like, getting those treasures are huge time sinks, so if you can get enough bugs to make it worth it. Oh, this is horrible RNG.
Oh, wow,
Hot
what is this?
dang. He
Well, the only
recognized
set-
it fast, though.
Play 17 reds though. Yeah, it's gonna.
He kind of went an odd... He went at... What? Why did he go all the way... Oh, I think he misread... I see what happened here, kind of.
Aw, rip Max. Yeah, he went the wrong way.
Yeah, I think Max might have a little bit of time on him here. Yeah, neither of them neither of them got any bugs here because they kind of couldn't. That's fine. Yeah, notice how Max was way behind, and now he's kind of like he ratcheted up to like, I don't know, maybe like 10 seconds behind, and now he's only like 4 or something, maybe 5. Like, he definitely, like, Urban's misread there was a little bit unfortunate. But it's hard because sometimes if you miss it on the come down, it can be a little bit challenging.
Hey, early wisp, fog.
Yeah, I think both of them are doing early wisp.
Nice.
They both throw a red here, where I think if you're doing claw, and I know Urban doesn't like to do claw, but if you're doing claw, you can switch to a purple. Which, it's not a huge difference, because of course then that means that the dig is going to be a little bit slower, but it means the carry is going to be a little bit faster. It doesn't really matter, but I'm like the only one who switches to a purple for that long throw to activate the wisp. I think it's interesting. Yeah, this is going to be tight. They're just got neck and neck pretty fast. I think anything with plucking, you can see a little bit of variance. Like, wow, Max really caught Urban here. I think it'd be interesting more on, like, you're looking at both screens. It'd be really interesting to pause each of these videos and look them back and kind of like side by side them a little bit, and really see like where the variance here came from. Except, okay, they loaded them at the same time, but Max actually, his carry might not have been as good, because they loaded them close to the same time, and I thought Max was going to make a full comeback, but Max has again separated.
I think, well, I know at least one white didn't get onto the seat. One of them was still a leaf and needed to flower
Yeah,
it.
he leafed them. You can do that with minimal penalty, though.
Yeah.
So Urban does this where you dismiss after the geyser, which is good. I think that's faster. So Max, of course, did this at spawn, but Urban waited, and I think that is just the new meta. I think that is just the new meta, honestly. Like, look how much faster Urban caught Max here, just because he ran with his Pikmin and then dismissed. Urban. It's very clear that Urban caught like at least 3-4 seconds on Max by doing that.
Yeah, the only real reason not to do it is if you're scared of activating the poison cutscene, but if you just whistle, you'll be fine, since whistle, it just like takes the poison off every frame, so there's no real risk at all.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I understand the fear, because of course if you play that cutscene, it's over, basically. Like, in general, I understand that fear.
It's an old strat.
Urban gets slow get up, and Max gets fast get up. I don't actually remember which one's rigorously lower.
What a slide.
Whoa! That's a chunky slide. That makes up for Max.
This?
Oh my god. Oh my tass. Oh my task, that is crazy.
Yeah, Urban should try low IGT.
Oh my god. Man. Oh jeez. Urban just got the Super Saiyan power up in this race. He has no money though. Oh my gosh. You want to talk
2160
about having like zero cash? He's gonna get some cash right here, but
2177.
2177. I mean, Max is yeah 8 Pokos on Urban, like that's pretty chunky.
They're like both behind.
Yeah, Max didn't recognize that he got the head in. He got the head in, but he was waiting for something. I don't think he realized that was it. But yeah, wow, that's a lot of time saved to Urban. Oh, this Notech is inconsistent and stupid. Oh, but he gets a second try. Okay, that's good. Oh, Max stream
Oh.
froze.
Oh no. That's not that's artificial time loss.
It's fine. I mean, at some point, maybe like when there's like a loading screen or something, maybe like Urban, or sorry, not Urban, Pi or someone can refresh. Now Max
Yay,
is also struggling with this knapsack. Oh, but he also
Knapsack
gets a
up.
second try. There you go. Okay. Now all you have to do, because the patch is on, is just warp to the right. Just don't not warp. Thank you.
Okay, that was very close actually, but yeah, that's it.
Nah, I mean that looks closer than it is. But yeah, that was crazy. It's honestly a bummer he didn't get that slide in a race. So Max is great here, but his rock movement is a little bit slow.
YOLO
Honestly,
EV
Urban's
though.
is also slow. I just didn't focus on it at the time because I was watching Max with the knapsack. Both of them have slow rock movement.
Max actually
Learn-
gained time since he had YOLO EV.
So this is, by the way, the next element of RNG that will differ is blue knapsack, please. Second try is very good.
Nice, nice.
Let's see if that means they're slow. Yes, Curtis. Giga Chad moment. Yes. No. No. So, hey, Mr. J, how is AT payoff debt? So yeah, so now Max has to do the blue knapsacks. Let's see how he fares. He also gets second try. That's crazy.
They've gone like
That
the
is
same
crazy.
above ground RNG this entire run. Like duplicate,
They've
like
had
same posies,
Very
same
equal.
knapsack.
They have very equal above ground RNG, which is like crazy because in set seed that actually isn't guaranteed. It's awesome for like the evenness of the race though. You know, like you want races to be close.
Yeah, this is exactly what we want because we do set seed to make it as skill based as possible and try to eliminate randomness. So
There you go. Okay. Urban is gonna start. That is actually very reasonable, Mr. J. GG. In any case, Urban's gonna start on Snagrit Hole. One is obviously actually not very RNG heavy, which is nice, but we'll have to see what 2 is. Of course, we shouldn't lament the RNG too much because, you know, anything that Urban gets, Max is also going to get. But, I mean, the main things they're looking out for are how well they manage enemies. I mean, with Urban also, it is kind of like how well you amass money here because, you know, even if Urban doesn't know Max's totals here, Urban knows that he's low. He is low on money, by the way. Like, he is like 15 Pokos behind where I think he should be. He's only like 7 Pokos behind Max, because Max also didn't get Matites. But Max loses a white, which is really not great. Losing a white this early is a bit of a pain, because, you know, I mean, that will cascade into small losses. And of course, I mean, again, it's something that is a loss that Urban isn't going to incur. But
right,
you know,
it's
so much more rich than Urban right now, and that is going to matter. So this is split, which is nice. It means it's generally good. It's split, but it isn't perfect RNG because you'll notice that because of the orientation of the room, the strawberry is gonna have to go around. Ooh, the white flower is here. I don't think Urban saw that immediately, but that's actually really good as well. In theory, you wouldn't have to separate as much then if you knew that. Urban should still check around the spawn just to make sure he isn't going to get ambushed, though. Because that's also possible. So like now, yeah, now he should switch captains though, and check the spawn room because he doesn't know that the spawn room is safe, and he has time to pluck, or he's gonna pluck and then check. He should check though, like he shouldn't just assume that nothing's wrong in the spawn room. Yeah, he's doing that right now. Sure. Also, he can get some of these monies, right? Or maybe he can't. A little slow, but at least he played good defense here. He has time to run because of where it is in the spawn room, but this was very well played. The only bummer is he got no bugs here. It wasn't really an easy way to get bugs. I don't think he should have done anything differently. But like he's very far back from what I think, which is only going to be a problem where if he doesn't get lens, he's going to have to, he more than Max might have to bank on getting Love Nugget, which is going to be a huge time sink versus Max.
And Max also thought the strawberry was going to pass the other way, so he woke up both mums and put reds on them, but it didn't go that way, so he just didn't need to do any of that. But didn't lose.
Point, Teddy, you can tell which way it's going to path actually by where the shovel is on the bucket. Based on the orientation of the bucket, which you can tell because there's the asymmetry, right? Where the little shovel is next to the bucket, you actually can tell where it's going to path. And so Urban, with his game knowledge, actually knew that he didn't need to do anything. So that actually is a game knowledge thing. They use into it based on the asymmetry of the bucket.
Very interesting.
Yeah. No, this is one of those small things where like it doesn't matter until it does, you know, because it's those kind of small subtle things that can really help you improve, right? Because like Urban basically was able to be more efficient. Wait, so the berry avoid the shovel or go to it? I actually didn't mention it, so you're fine for not catching what I said. Urban's trying to suss out where the big beetle is. He was smart and he saw the gauge was high from spawn, which means that it was there. So I think he's just trying to get this out of the way so he can rush the. He wants to be able to rush the marble with whites, which is why he's doing this first, because then he can basically just dismiss whites. Yep, I predicted it. Yeah, so now in this case you can just go and rush this down with whites, and this is really efficient. And I think Max is doing something similar. He's just doing this before getting the. So I think he's rushing down this with whites before going to combat. I actually don't hate that, but I think combat here is going to take a little bit of time, especially with the watery blowhog. And so I think if I was going to do this, if I was going to do marble first, I would have brought reds, right? And then I would have white loaded the magnet, because you're going to see that the marble for Max is going to get in way too fast. See, it's already getting in. But now you have no whites for the last treasure in. I was just talking with JPEP and some other people about this. Right, you don't have any whites for the last treasure in. Urban played this in such a way where, for him, the whites were on the marble and he's done. But now Max has to do this switch, right? And it's inefficient. And if he knew he was going to go to the marble first, he should have brought reds there instead of whites.
Okay, Urban and Max somehow have like the same money now. I'm not really sure how that happened.
Urban, no, I think Max is still a little ahead, but I think Urban did a better job about collecting the watery blowhog. So, and the watery blowhog is 4, which is actually pretty sizable.
Oh yeah.
So
that's
5 is where you might see a very large shift between players, because if someone doesn't know where he got it, nice. Okay. So the biggest thing here that can go wrong is that if someone like basically loses the marble, like if someone has it masked or like can't find the marble easily, that is the easiest spot that you can like lose time between 2 different runners. Max stream, no, it's all good. Again, they're gonna give us the final times at the end, so we only just need to ballpark who's ahead and who's behind. So, any case, going back to Curtis, super quick, they will avoid the shovel, because going around the shovel usually takes very long. I gotta double check to make sure I have that right, but I think they will go where the shovel isn't. So if the shovel is pointing to the left-ish, they will go right, and vice versa. Right, because you can think about like the shovel is going to create a path, right, that is actually longer, and that they want to take the shortest path. Pikmin actually want to help you out, you know. They actually will take the shortest path if they can. Honestly, I don't even think I'm commentating that well. There's just a lot of interesting things going on in this cave. So now there's 6. Urban is going to do the smart thing, which is just kind of run to the exit, but he's obviously going to search for lens in the spots there are. Oh, but it's immediately waterlocked, so I think
Oh.
Urban's just going to, unless you get really lucky. Yeah, this is a really rough thing. We're going to really hope that there's no gate in front of the hole. But maybe there is. I actually couldn't see on the come down, but Urban's more focused than I am. Oh, there isn't. There isn't. Yeah. Damn. I wonder if Max is going to be able to see that.
Oh, looks like he's doing the same thing Urban is. So don't think he thought. Oh
Yeah,
no, he
nope.
did.
Max. Ooh. Max took some time here, honestly, but no, Max saw it before. You see how Max didn't waste time ferrying. He's actually going to catch Urban here. Yeah. Max actually saved a lot of time. Just, I think he was able to see on the come down that it wasn't gated. Or maybe there's... Nice. All right, good kill.
Nice quick kill.
Nice. There's no gate. Of course, there's no gate for both of them. All right. Let's see if Max can get it. Ooh, and Max loses the purple. So, Max,
Oh man.
Max is doing fine here, but Thunder Room of the Hole. Well, it was all waterlocked, so no one was gonna get anything, Pi. I was gonna say that so Max is in a little bit of a problem here. I mean, he's obviously a little bit behind Urban, but he also is down a purple and down a white. This isn't like run-endingly bad, but like, you know, these kind of losses add up, whereas Urban was very low on losses. The only Pikmin that he lost in Snaggered Hole were the 3 reds that you lose to the Pileated Sacrifice. And this is just going to, again, it's possible that these kind of things will cascade.
Okay, Max is 13 Pokos ahead of Urban, which is actually pretty substantial.
Oh, it's very...
Generally speaking.
I mean, Max is actually, I mean, Max is not out of it even if he wasn't, but let's be very clear. I think that's actually one of the things that's keeping Max really, I think this is closer than it looks. For that specific reason. Like, if Urban's gonna have to sacrifice time in Valley of Repose to make that up. Or even worse, he's gonna, like, maybe he'll pull ahead of Max in Valley of Repose, but then he's gonna have to get Love Nugget or something that will even it right back up. Unfortunately, I don't think either player was able to nectar their white, which is unfortunate because recently we have all come to terms with how insanely good nectaring all your whites is in Snaggered Hole. But I just don't think the... See, so Max, the problem is Max switched to purples, tried to switch to purples a little bit too late. Curtis and I were talking about this at some point. This is a problem where Max ran off the... Ooh, Max did not count his purple throws. Or if he did, he didn't time his purple throws. He did not something with his purple throws. There was a verb with purple throws that he did not figure out. Sorry, what I was going to say is Max switched to a purple and failed. That's kind of awkward.
They actually both got 2 blue pellets, which is also not determined by seed, but they still got the same RNG.
Wow, you're actually completely right, Teddy. That's crazy. You could nectar whites from the glint beetle, but at that point, it's not worth that. At that point, it might not be worth that time save. It's not a bad idea, though. You're right that you probably could. If you got to the... flower pot fast enough, you could potentially get it off of the glint beetle. But the most important thing is making sure that you don't dilly-dally and getting the globe loaded. So if it at all cut into your time getting the globe loaded, I would say it's not worth. Because there's also opportunities to nectar in BK4, and even potentially BK6 if you get a lucky alcove egg. So like I don't think it's worth hedging all your bets at that point.
I'm not really sure why Max had 8 Pikmin doing the knapsack up to the cask.
Yeah, I think Max had some issues with Pikmin management in this particular split. This split is very hard though because managing your Pikmin very well can be tricky, and especially honestly in all Pikmin above grounds, there's this kind of phenomena where if things get out of hand, they can get out of hand very quickly. You know?
I think he had some like 2 extra reds on the billboard body or something, so that like got to the onion faster, so he'd whistle those off. Maybe he took those with him.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I mean, Curtis and I were also talking about that occasionally in the glint, depending on the pathing, very rarely it can kind of venture close enough to spawn that you could hit it with a purple as you're loading the bulborb and other stuff with blues, but yeah, that is like a once in a lifetime. That is a once in a lifetime thing that you would capitalize on. Any case, yeah, Urban basically has been practicing the split a lot, and he didn't flub anything. And above grounds, this above ground is probably is one of the most complicated above grounds in Payoff Debt, so executing it well is putting him very ahead of Max. But again, keep in mind that, you know, Max is very strong in mid game. Max is very strong in mid game, and he's richer. So
It's RNG.
yeah. Well, I'm just saying, you know, it would be a very dangerous time to count anyone out still. I mean, there's a lot of run left. But nice RNG for BK1. Max looking like maybe a 25-second deficit at this point. Something happened on BK1, and honestly, I was busy watching Urban, so I confess I did not see the nuance of what happened to Max's enter BK, but something happened, clearly. Unfortunately. It should be said, of course, so Urban opting to be a little bit safe here. Killing the geysers before loading the gem. In theory, if you're good at timing, you can actually kill the geysers as the gem is walking back, which is, of course, a little bit faster. We can see what Max does here. Yeah, see, Max is just opting to do this. I don't think Max knows he's ahead or behind, but since he struggled a little bit, I think he can kind of guess. And he's gonna, basically just time it. I think this is actually worth, like, I'm sorry, like, okay, he activated the cutscene. And if Urban never activates the cutscene, then I'll say yeah, but I think he actually caught a little bit of time here. Because only one Pikmin caught on fire, basically. And during that entire time, the treasure is moving. So I think that's fine. I would have been a little bit more aggressive about, like, trying to time the geysers so you could kill them as they pass. But Max's passive strategy didn't backfire hard, to be honest. So Urban is doing maybe this race strat, interestingly, that he just maybe, in order to prepare for good RNG and potentially speed up stuff earlier, he's just going to opt to get the nectar here. I think it's kind of an interesting call doing that before you know where the treasures are, but he's loading a lot of stuff. Oh, very good RNG. I don't think he realized. Ooh! Max finds it immediately. Max, of course, again, he doesn't take time to nectar, and so he catches Urban a little bit here. You could just never get to nectar. It's something far. Yeah, but it's I don't know if nectaring is worth here. Like, I don't know. Like, look how much Max is catching Urban here. Like, it's actually somewhat considerable. Considering when he was like 30 seconds back, right? And now, like, Max kind of catches Urban here. I don't know if he doesn't get as much bodies as Urban, and so, I mean, this is part of maybe what Urban has to do to kind of get money back. I mean, I'm just saying that there was a decision that was, okay, so now, well, now Max is waiting for that. Okay. I don't know if I agree with Max waiting for all those bodies, all things considered. But yeah, I suppose that it's hindsight because we can see both racers and we know who's ahead and behind, but I don't think Max knows this, and so it's hard to maybe do that calculus.
Max by the exit much quicker.
Urban got a little. What is this 6? Oh, this is freaky. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. No. Urban is lost. So is Max. Max is less lost. Max was kind of smart and knew from distance score. You might as well. So Max has kind of caught Urban here. I don't blame him. I don't blame Urban. This was weird. But yeah, Max basically completely. Max basically completely made up for all of his previous loss. Urban is really struggling to kill this one dwarf, dude. Oh my god, figure it out, dude.
It was like it's only like one captain punch away from death.
Just like just let him kill a couple Pikmin. Oh my god. Oh gosh, dude. So, and of course, and this is why, I don't know, it's percentage play, but Urban, you need to load the skull, dude. You cannot be playing around with these dwarfs. Urban, unfortunately, kind of exploded here a little bit. And this is why I don't like the Nectaron 4 here, because it turns out that there was the falling egg, and that now Max has pulled ahead by quite a fair bit. Max got bailed, but, I mean, even before the skull egg, Max had played this better than Urban. Urban got lost in the sauce. There was just some dwarves that he took too much time to kill. And he needed to get the stuff moving for Max. Urban lost, actually, an entire minute to that floor compared to Max. And I think this is some of the things where, like, Urban plays really well most of the time, but I think here, he just kind of got hung up. He sometimes does this where he gets, like, hung up on a small thing that really affects his gameplay. It is typically a bomb, but even if he didn't get bailed on the Nectar, Max would have pulled ahead of Urban here, because Max was able to prioritize the skull a little bit better. But that was a weird BK. And again, I mean, I mean, we saw that Max was like 30 seconds behind Urban at enter BK, and now he's ahead. So, you know, like this game can be very back and forth. You know, and one misread later on SCX, and like the leads can shift again. I mean, if this should teach anyone anything, it's that these leads are not safe.
Yeah, this race is very close.
Like that. Yeah. Kind of these small things where, like, sometimes when you really rush, you can make mistakes. Like, Urban accidentally forgot to save a white, so he had to whistle all of the Pikmin and throw again. You know? Which is, I mean, but keep in mind, compared to most payoff debt races, this is very close. I mean, runners being within 30 seconds of each other, period, is big, for sure. But, like, Urban just, I think, really kind of, Urban, I think, just kind of got a little bit antsy here, and I think he's getting a little punished for it. But there's a lot of run left, a lot of mistakes you can make from both sides, so... 29-32. I think Max is going to be 10 seconds, 10 Pokos ahead of Urban, but it's Urban at least is looking at reasonable numbers. I don't want to refresh the streams though, because then it'll play an ad or something. You're probably right. Yeah, so Max is ahead by a bit. By like 20 seconds. $25. It'll be interesting to see how Valley of Repose goes, because Max has a habit of like sometimes taking interesting risks and interesting plays on Valley of Repose that have high risk, high reward.
He's also down a white, so he'll have less to work with for the above ground split and in the first half of SCX.
Yeah. Xenon, that sounds like something beyond of what a basic restreamer can do, honestly. That just sounds like a lot of work. You just pause for a couple seconds? Yeah, that just breaks the flow. They'll just give us the times. It's going to be a close race, regardless.
Max doesn't go for the early dwarf kill. That'll lose him a second on day 7.
Yeah. Urban will take that time save, honestly. The dwarf kill is pretty, if you do things in the right order though, the dwarf kill actually is not that scary, right? Like the important thing is you always do things in the same order. So you always switch, so you load onto the, you load the whites onto the battery, then you switch, you bring out the blues, you switch back, you put some more Pikmin on the battery, then you switch, you throw a purple on the egg, then you switch, kill the Bulborb, switch Nectar, and then you're done. And I just said switch like 7 times, but like that always works. Like it's, and you know, Urban had many seconds to spare. I don't think that's like an advanced technique. Like I think you can like really milk it. So one thing again that to point out that Urban has an advantage on is Urban's gonna lifeguard, which is just faster. Sorry everyone, it's just faster, and Max is silly for wasting time here. And he has more Pikmin. More important Pikmin. He has one more white and one more purple. So, you know, I mean, Urban has been kind of clocking Max on these above grounds. And so, again, Max is ahead, so, like, it's hard to see, but Urban's going to start kind of saving some time here over Max. Because he was, like, 30 seconds back, but you can look at how long it takes for him to switch back. I'm just going to do maybe a little internal count here. Because he still hasn't loaded the whatchamacallit. Switch back. 1, 2... 3. Let's keep a little count. Yeah. Urban's saving like maybe 4 seconds on Max here. Maybe 5. That's a lot though for one segment. I mean, Urban's still 25 back, but Urban was 30 back, and so being 25 back is kind of good.
Had moved to lie down on the boulder for rolling at you. Yeah, Knapsack Captain basically act like treasures in enemy bodies, where basically they're solid objects that cannot be moved unless Pikmin carries them. So rock just explodes.
So sometimes Urban dismisses onto that bridge, but that's a little bit dangerous because sometimes with how dismissing works, he dismisses too close, and so they don't actually do that good of a job, to be frank. At carry, they don't do that good of a job at like latching onto the bridge, and that might make Urban wait on the bridge a little bit more. So yeah, Urban is solidly still 20 seconds back. I mean, the lifeguarding doesn't save that much time. Like it saves like 3 or 4 seconds. So I mean, Urban isn't gonna magically come back super hard from like a 30-second deficit. But I think he definitely saved time here. Lying down in front of a boulder moving at you. Yeah. Napping is pretty Giga Chad. Max has started. See, Urban is waiting on this gate here a little bit. And it's because he's dismissing and not C-sticking. Urban, you need to C-stick. You have time to wait for the treasures. You need to C-stick. onto the gate because you're not dismissing, or dismiss more properly. One of the two, because you're sitting there waiting on a gate that you should not, on a bridge that you should not be waiting on. I see this in runs as well, and it's not good.
Max getting tape. Oh,
Yeah.
maybe not. Maybe not.
Urban
Actually.
checking the wrong room when you shouldn't do it. You should never check that room first, ever.
Max also did that.
Sorry, but I've literally, since I've mentioned this before, I've never seen anyone not get burned checking the spiral room first. The tape was in an alcove, which means it doesn't affect the room score, and the big room almost always has more score. You should never check the spiral room first. You should always check the big room first.
Okay, looks like Urban is actually not getting tape.
Yeah, well, Urban, I don't think tape is worth it here. I don't think tape does a lot, to be honest. I don't know. I'm sorry for being incensed, but I don't know. For every single time that people anecdotally say, well, I didn't check spiral room and I got burned. It's like, I don't, but yeah, here's the thing about statistics. People don't realize this. If something is a 60% right decision, you're still gonna get burned 40% of the time. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Like, you're still gonna get burned. If something is a 2/3 chance, that means you're still gonna lose 1/3 of the time. But you have to follow statistics. Okay, Max did the right thing here, which is just bringing 30, except he now brought 32, so never mind, he didn't do the right thing here. Urban also just kind of brought 51, but he, I guess, okay, yeah, I mean, it's fine. He did it faster than Max, so he gets props for that. Here's the thing, Max is so cheap, so it's hard because now Urban and Max are really close, but I don't know what Urban is gonna do for, he might have to get Love Nugget, or he might have to farm in a way that Max doesn't, so this lead, so it's kind of, tenuous exactly who did what well here, but it's fine. This is pod and the tape is in an alcove in the big room. Yes, my whole point. Okay, so I just to like keep this point in a more calm manner. It's in an alcove in the big room, which means the big room has not had its score halved. The score is only halved when a treasure is placed directly in the room. I'm saying that between two options, no matter what is in what alcoves, if I had to pick between checking just the big room, like within the big room, or the spy room, it's big room every time, just because of the enemy placements. There's more enemies in the big room on average. It just has more score on average. I don't know. Like I don't know. It's not, to me, it isn't particularly like complicated. I don't know. But I'll leave it. I would rather lose 8 seconds than a chance of losing 40. Well, you won't. Okay, so that's just weird and hyperbolic. If you're somehow checking, if you're like, okay, maybe it's like 11 instead of 8, but if you're not checking big room in such a way that it only loses you like a handful more than checking spiral room, then I don't know, that sounds like a skill issue. To kind of keep using that meme. That is a weird fire geyser replacement.
Yeah, that was just a comment. I've never seen it like up against the wall like that.
I mean, it's convenient. It's not going to do any damage. Look, Doc, I'm agreeing with you that it feels shitty when you gamble on something and you lose, but I don't know. It's like kind of what I'm saying about like the 60-40 or the 70-30, right? If you bank on a 70-30, you're gonna lose. You're still gonna lose 1/3 of the time if you bank on like a 70-30. But that doesn't mean you should start banking on the 30 instead of the 70. like I don't know. That isn't the. I mean, whatever. We'll move on, but I guess I don't know. It's just been 3 times now in races, 2 of which of the 3 that I've commentated, where someone has checked the spiral room and like lost a reasonable amount of time for it. They both played this about the same. Urban maybe a little bit slower than Max. Mostly because Urban kind of had a weird dealing with one of the fire geysers. It's not the gamble at all. The spiral is a gamble, though, Curtis. Well, you don't understand. Like that's the thing is, I think saying that spiral isn't a gamble is wrong. You are gambling the time loss of not checking it first, right? Urban lost time by checking it. It is inherently a gamble. I don't know. Both of them are getting 15, which honestly is reasonable. They're all close here. Even I might get 15 in a pod run with these.
Yeah, they're both playing this SDX very similarly. Max also did the spiral check in SDX1.
Okay, well then,
way.
why don't? Okay. So Curtis, just to finish it, then why don't you just run in with the big room and check that first? It takes 3 seconds longer, but you're more likely to not lose a bajillion. I don't know. Just I don't know. I don't know. It's like it's still a gamble though. Like it still takes the time to take your individual. The idea that checking the spiral room loses no time. When I say gamble, I literally just mean you are doing something that if you are wrong loses time. Even if you're checking with no Pikmin, it is still a gamble that loses time. Okay,
Oh,
Max
Rimlock.
got Rimlock, which is nice. Although it loses time. Well, then don't do it. I don't know. I don't know how to respond to that.
Nice Rimlock from both.
Yeah, they both got Rimwalk. This is a really close race. Again, there is some caveats here. Like I like what Max do. Max is opting to just kind of get the treasure out of here, which is nice. Ooh, nice. It's gonna fall off. Good. Also, did on Urban's stream did the thing suicide? Because that's hilarious.
Yeah, I think I just walked off.
That's kind of great. Urban's doing the right thing here. Yes, good. Good. Urban played this. You know, there was a time, of course, right, when you know, on BK6, Max played a little bit better than Urban, and he kind of incurred a lot of a lot of time loss in the race. Urban played this far better than Max. Urban recognized which hazards would be most damaging, and he dealt with it really quickly, because dealing with the hazards first, dealing with a hazard really feels like it's a waste of time, because it's like, well, why deal with the hazard when I can just get the treasure moving? But if the hazard is a main roadblock into being urgent, you need to deal with it first. So, like, Urban was solidly behind, and he caught at least 9 seconds on Max there. What, Mr. J, I'm allowed to say if someone executed better. Rigorously. I'm not saying that they're a better player, but you can say individually on a sub-level who executed better or who executed worse. This is a terrible sub-level, by the way.
It's definitely weird and not good at all.
What's Max gonna do here is interesting. So Urban is just gonna deal with the tower early, which I actually kind of agree with.
Urban's second Groink didn't walk towards the tower room. he had more space to deal with the
that's a
Groink.
good thing to notice. I like what Urban is doing here, though, where he's yeah, then Urban's. Okay, just stop. Yeah, okay, so this is what Urban does sometimes, where he loaded the thing and then he stood there and he's like, maybe I'll throw a couple more on. What are you doing? Dude, don't do that. Don't throw a couple more. Just get to the treasure. Urban sometimes does this. So Max did this in reverse order, and I'm interested to see how this fares. Because Max, you know, because he started one of the treasures moving earlier, and then the slower treasure is moving, but now in this case, Max, I think, needed to get it moving even faster if he wanted to do this, because now one is going to outcompete the others. Balls layout. Yes, Curtis is correct. Yeah, the double big room. The double donut room, I should say. I guess a lot of the rooms are big. But yeah, like, Urban's getting punished here. And he's just getting punished here because he, like, took too much time to load this. I don't know. He still has another cutscene, though. He still played this way better than Max. Or he would have. Max is still ahead of him here. He would have played it better than Max had Max had Urban, it's basically even. He would have played it better than Max had if he had just loaded the last treasure a little bit faster. Feel like Max needs to worry about the Groink body. He got tape. He should have just moved. Yeah. Max is way ahead of Urban in money, though, so I think Max is still probably 30 seconds ahead. Urban not doing the correct read on SCX1 really cost him because he lost time to Max and he didn't get the tape, and then BK6 kind of burned him. But overall, it's still a pretty close race. Again, like any two runs being within a minute of each other, it's very close.
No, on top of the one, Max and Irma did literally the exact same thing, but Max got tape. Like, they both walked towards the spiral and then walked back.
Yeah, but Urban took longer to do it, I feel like. I don't know. I feel like that Urban didn't... Normally, when someone gets tape and the other person doesn't, it should be slower, but Urban didn't increase his lead on Max at all on that floor, which is weird considering that Max got an entire other treasure, to be honest.
And Max just messed up more urgently.
Yeah, pretty much. Sometimes in Pikmin 2, messing up more urgently is the name of the game, you know? But here's the thing about Max getting tape, though, is it's kind of awkward as what is he going to do with tape? Right? I mean, I guess he's going to skip a small on GK. I mean, considering that he's already kind of ahead in this race, like, sure, that's going to be time. But he doesn't have to worry about bugs as well. So I guess he doesn't have to worry about bugs and maybe skips a skip, but like 50 is just a weird number, you know? I mean, it just is. Yeah, he's literally just 50 Pokos ahead of Urban. He's not more or less like money-wise it's about the same. But it's just a little bit awkward in terms of like I don't know what Max is going to do with all that cash. He doesn't have to worry about it though cuz he's ahead of Urban with more money. I mean, he's in a good spot. Max kind of recognizing that there's these alcoves over here, and so he's kind of checking it out first. Urban had the right idea as well, if you notice. Urban playing this very similarly, except Urban has way too many whites on the first dig, and I don't know how he didn't notice that immediately. Okay, he's kind of corrected it now, but you need to correct that stuff faster, you know? He just C-sticked all of his whites on, and then he decided to say, well, it doesn't matter. But it does. Max caught him here a little bit. But yeah, I mean, this was still well. I mean, they played it almost very evenly. Max maybe just got maybe 5-10 seconds here just because he just had a slightly more even load. Yeah, so they were Max was about 2 seconds ahead, and now he's 8. So, I mean, this is a small thing where, like, Urban didn't play it that much differently than Max, but he just, like, I don't know, he was just a little bit fast and loose on, you know, some of those other small stuff, and I think it cost him in that regard. Here's an advantage, though, where Urban is going to have to kill these enemies, not just because he's Urban, but because he actually wants to collect them. And so, like, I think that's going to incur some suboptimal... I mean, I don't want to say suboptimal, because he needs the bug money, right? But it meant that he kind of had to play around that a little bit differently.
Well, in, like, general terms, for a run, killing those would be suboptimal, but for Urban's run, killing those is, like, required.
Also, Max got pretty lucky where he only... Max only had 2 Pikmin die. One of them was a white, but he only had 2 Pikmin die there, which is actually somewhat crazy. One was a blue and one was a white. I think he got off pretty easy. Max is saving time here, but he also saved time because he didn't have to worry about bugs, which is, again, sort of an advantage of having that tape. And again, if Urban was ahead of Max here, we could still talk about the merits, but basically Max got it with no penalty. In the race, he got it on no penalty. Nice. Bull Bear being close is always a good thing, because the Bull Bear and the Bell are really heavy, and now you only have 2 light treasures that you have to deal with, and so it just comes down to the read.
This Bulbar actually spawns in a different spawn point than the rest of the enemies because the dev didn't want it spawning too close to your base. Then stuff like this can just happen anyways. The same
Yeah, no
case
matter
on
how much you try to prevent this. Yes, Urban had the better read because guess what? Urban is smart. Why are you coming all the way back here though? What are you doing? Okay, I don't know what Urban's doing. Has the dig not gotten started yet? Dude, what are you you can't just walk up to an area with a dig and not get it started. Just throw 10 whites on and then do all of this. All of that energy was just spent. And okay, yes, also no one used their ice here as well, so that's fine. But I'm very unpleased with how both of them played this layout. Like, yeah, great, you got the bell moving now. That's good. Or the ring moving, sure. But you could have just gotten this a little bit faster. Also, I don't know. Also just looking to see if you could see the candle from the other room. In general, Max still played this, I think, far better. Or sorry, not Max. Urban played this far better than Max. Still. Urban just basically didn't capitalize on him having the better read. Right? Like, even though Urban played this way better, somehow Max is going to, somehow Max is even more ahead of Urban. Even though Urban had the right read, because he backed off, and didn't get the dig started as soon as possible. So, that's just kind of, to me, that's just kind of bizarre, because Urban, like, had the better read. He had the better strategy. He just chose not to capitalize on it for one reason or another.
4 is very good, actually.
Well, 4 is amazing, yes.
Looks like Urban was a bit more urgent. He gets more whites on the star, I
Yeah.
think.
Urban played this better as well. Urban, honestly, I think in general has way better game plans than Max. I just think that sometimes he drags in interesting ways. That kind of make Max kind of come ahead again, but like he saves some time here on Max for sure. All right. 5 and 6 are pretty standard. I mean, you know, there's a little bit of nuance in like doing the combat proper. Oh, Max just got a couple of them planted, but he got the stun. Actually, did he get any planted? Did that not get anybody?
How did Max get away with that?
Never punished is, I think, the moral of the story here.
Urban almost got punished.
Yeah.
You probably want to kill that guy in the middle, Urban.
Yeah, Urban knows.
And yeah.
Oh, but that's not a huge punish though. It was almost a huge punish because he didn't get the because he almost didn't get the kill. But no, it's fine. I don't know how Max. Yeah, I don't know how Max like pulled this off faster. I feel like they played at the same speed. But yeah, Urban played this pretty well. There's just a little bit of like that delay in killing that I think made a large difference. So now, so what? Urban's now 15 seconds back, which I'm assuming because.
And there are way too many enemies to be getting a statue in this layout.
I disagree fundamentally, dude. This is never good. If you're not in the spawn room, it's just never worth. Like, look at this. He's now. It's. Yeah, like this is the problem. Is he's lost a whole bunch of whites for very. I don't think this is faster. I'm kind of surprised. And I think he knows this. I'm kind of surprised at this play here. Because I thought the common dogma, if I was right, is that it was just not worth to get. Now, of course, he's gonna not give a crap about bugs, and he gets to skip mine. Doesn't have a way. I mean, yeah. So I guess he's now. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it stacks up. Thing is I guess one of the things that mine isn't that slow. Like we rag on mine a lot, but I mean Curtis knows about, like, mine is what, maybe, I mean, if you're Curtis plays it very fast, but like the general dogma is it's somewhere between 40-45 seconds. It's maybe 35 if you're you know, Curtis DN or something, but like it's like 40 to 45 seconds, which is fine. But I mean, geez, it could be argued that It could be argued that you know, that he lost a lot more than he gained, you know.
Yeah, Max is in a super awkward poker spot because he got tape.
Yeah, Max is in a really awkward poker spot. But it's all good. Urban has the read here, lots of combat. It'll be interesting. I think unfortunately it's just that I just don't really see the path, honestly. Unless Max loses some Pikmin in COS 3. But you know, but Urban has really good reads in COS, and you know, and mistakes can always happen. But it's good. But I just think that this was a small miscalculation. You know, like, this is only in comparing the two. Like, I think Urban's playing well. But, like, it's very clear when, like, I mean, but, you know, these two people are, like, very, 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 very even, which means that when they're even, it means that mistakes are punished more, you know? 826 Pokemon for Max. So Max, the thing is, of course, is Max in the race, he doesn't have to care. If I was Max, I would, if Love Nugget is good, I would get, if Love Nugget is in the rare, like, super fast RNG position, I would maybe get that for Max. But otherwise, I would just, and then maybe get Love Nugget and get bugs and skip mine, I guess? Question mark? But, like, Urban is pretty clearly a minute 20 back. Right? I don't know if Max knows that, but, like, if Urban's a minute 20 back, I mean, Max can just get no bugs, get mine, and chill. Like, is assuming that he plays at the same speed as Urban, like he doesn't play much slower, mine is less than a minute 20. So yeah, so you just kind of chill. Urban, of course, can skip mine and can also skip a small, and can potentially skip both smalls if he gets enough money. So he might actually be able to kind of pull an advantage out of Max at the end. But if Max doesn't know that, I think you just have to stay the course, you know? Very good, too. I mean, yeah, but it's only half of a minute 20, and there's 2 caves left, you know? Like, there isn't... like, you know... You only have to win by a little bit, you know? And so... Like, this is where I'm trying to, like, think about, like, what the best call was. Like, if Urban watches this video back, I don't know. I was a little harsh on Urban at some points, but if Urban watches the video back, like, I think the main thing would be just to look at things like, oh, Maximus played this. Oh, that's big. Buddy. Oh, that's a couple seconds that Max lost there. You always gotta watch on COS 2, because they can pick a lot of stuff up.
Videos can actually pick anything up on COS 2 because they're all 10 weight or under.
Yeah,
oh, never mind. That's for red bugs, my bad.
Yep, I don't know what you're talking about. That's okay.
Videos can pick up anything.
It's all good, dude. No, it's well, I was gonna say they can pick everything up just because they're like they're in a relatively small room, right? And they have a lot of active vision. So there's really nothing stopping it from picking a lot of that stuff up. Yeah. Nice. Urban playing this correctly. He just has to... I would throw a blue on this guy. I would throw a blue onto this guy and see if he can make it work. Nice, he's doing this. Okay, well, he didn't get caught here. Urban might actually pull a little bit, might really shorten the lead on Max here. It's depending. Because Max has Max kind of struggled a little bit more with 2 than Urban did. But he did get this moving pretty well. What Max does is Max is a little bit better at running through things and then killing the enemies later. Alright, so yeah, Urban has the read here, which is nice. Hopefully he just kind of nice, good. Urban, you don't have to care about bugs. You don't have to care about bugs. You gotta go. You gotta go, dude. I want to reach out through the screen and be like, dog, you're losing a little bit. Like, we don't know exactly by how much you're losing because, you know, I mean, it's one of those things where, you know, game's hard. But yeah, it's like you gotta move. You gotta gamble a little bit.
I ran with the double statue bug grind in COS.
Don't flip it. It's too far. It's not gonna walk into. Anodes can walk off screen, but they can't spark until they're on screen. So if you're carrying something fast enough, I think you can kind of ignore, like, I think that's a fair gamble. He has no things here. You know, I get antsy. I mean, I noticed this. I was doing a little bit of my own VOD review, and I noticed this too. Is I think a lot of us, and this is what Jack, and Max don't do, by the way. Max got shakeless, which is really good. Like, Jack and Max both do this really good job where they just never look back, ever. Which I think is very strong. Jack, of course, being the world record holder. I think it's fast enough because the only thing that is, as long as the arc doesn't hit the purples, you're generally fine. Urban, okay, yeah, so Urban faked out where he looked one direction and he didn't see the hole, but for some reason he didn't believe it was in the other way. And it's sort of like if you... Sorry, keep going.
I think he didn't think that he zoomed out far enough, so like, oh shit, I gotta check again, because I don't think it went far enough to see if there was the hole there. But then again, just like, spend an extra half second to zoom out more.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just a little bit antsy. I also feel like the Pikmin 2 is a really hard mental game because, like, if Urban, like, I'm sure he's, like, pretty frustrated by, like, some of the stuff. Like, he's probably frustrated with what happened on FC6 because he lost some Pikmin. And, like, there's other stuff as well. And so I think also, like, that kind of stuff, like, affects your gameplay, right? Where, like, when you're antsy, you kind of play a little skittish. So, Urban has, like, a lot of leaves here. And I'm honestly not really sure why. I guess because of the events of FC6. That was pretty good. So, Urban is waiting for one of the stomps. You can just go for the other leg immediately. And then you don't have to wait. I mean, Max might be... I might just be getting Master's Instrument. It is interesting to see what Max is doing here, though. I think it's interesting, to say the least, what he's doing.
And after all, the 25 in his name is for the Onapokos in Cookie. Definitely real. Didn't just make that up.
Back right leg is like, back right leg is just fine. Here's the thing, is it's one thing if he has a lot of health left, but Urban got him to 25% health left. You know, he only had a little bit of health. You can just aim for the back right leg and you're fine. Yeah, so here's the problem is, like, I guess if Max gets Cookie, he really got bailed. Because Urban's about a minute back and doesn't have to farm anything and can probably skip two treasures. Max got so bailed.
Yo, bailed cookie layout.
I can't even believe it. Okay. That's kind of infuriating if you're Urban. You got to be a little bit mad that Max gambled like a large chunk of this race on just getting the cookie.
I like when Mr. J did this. He calls him like Chad. Now when Max is, it's like not quite the opposite.
Max is a degenerate because this race is really close, and therefore he shouldn't. Like he should be punished for this.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't be. Like it's one thing in a run, or if you know that you're ahead and you can make it up on other stuff, but to bank the entire thing on 3 and on 2 and not getting punished is kind of crazy. However, okay, so despite this, Max despite this so despite this though, Urban and Max also both have 91 Pikmin. Urban is probably going to skip both smalls on GK6, so that's 20 seconds. And then he doesn't have to necessarily get the the cookie cutscene, so he's gonna save a little bit of time here. But I actually don't necessarily think that Urban can recover from this.
Max, just knock down the puppy blowhog. It's just
He did.
safe.
Max did that correctly. It is a little bit of a crazy looking 3, isn't it?
The 3 looks good, but it's not, because they have to go all the way around.
I mean, I think Urban's been playing well. I just think you can't make up the deficit because, like, you can't magically play 3 a minute faster than what Max did, Like a sub-level is going to take as long as it takes. He's only, again, he's only like a minute. I mean, he's been playing kind of even. It's just, he kind of just went back in like 3 sub-levels. Like, I literally think it was BK6, SCX1, SCX7, and then FC6. And I think those are the only 3 levels that he played worse than Max. And I think it's hard because I know that you're stressed. Urban's doing the same thing now. He's gonna down this. And then he's gonna down this. And then is he gonna down the blowhog? See, I don't even see the blow. Oh, there it is. Interesting. Yes, target that. He's got it. Yep.
Oh, we have moke throws.
Well, your Urban's been practicing his moke throws, so maybe if Max really, really, really turbo chokes this,
This is how Urban gains the minute.
potentially, actually, yeah. Shoot, there's actually, I mean, I don't know if it's gonna make all of the difference. No,
Okay, never mind.
I mean, you can only lose so much time on it, but
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, these are the kind of things that that matter,
But that was probably about 20 seconds of time lost on the moke throws.
Oh, I mean, I think Urban can make a big comeback here, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be enough, if I'm going to be honest, and it's not Urban's fault it's not enough. I mean, it's just, because Urban, of course, still has to do all of this, but, oh, wow, really bad Bull Bear RNG. Bull Bear walked all the way back. So Urban's gonna do a new strat here where you switch to Louis and you do the moke throws with Louis because they're free.
Look at that.
So that's new tech that Urban just found, literally circa today.
Yeah, literally just morning.
I kid you not. Urban, why are you not max loading this with? Okay, you need all right, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Anyways, yeah, but you need to
Interesting.
put more whites. He needed to be a little bit more rigorous on putting it more on putting more whites on the last treasure here. Like, look how slow the cap is.
Why'd Max not?
I know
Max
you're
would
wrong. I
start
think
right.
Urban is saving massive time over Max here compared to, well, maybe he would have been, but this is really, really, really slow on the whatchamacallit.
Max's load on the satellite was not optimal at all because there were like 10 open slots for Pikmin and all of his whites were on the boom cone.
Yeah, Max kind of played this a little bit awkward, but and of course, I mean, I think Urban actually did save some time on Max, but it's like Max was a minute 20 ahead, and so now even if Max is only like a minute ahead, it's just not enough. I mean, but who knows? Maybe I don't actually see Urban. You gotta stop. You gotta just go. You gotta lose all your Pikmin. You gotta, I don't know. Like, you gotta go, dude. That is questionably a good kill, but like we'll see. Like, what are you doing? Oh my, like it's. I noticed. You see this standing around here? Like this is. I think the real run killer. Is Urban was just kind of standing around being like, I'm just gonna throw a Pikmin, and then he C6. Like, no, you gotta C-stick all the way around this thing. And then just then whistle some whites off, or something. Like, some menuing had to be handled a little bit cleaner. Do we know how, I'm gonna look at his money. Okay, so there is only one saving grace here that could maybe potentially bail Urban out. I don't think it's gonna be enough though. Max has to like seriously bug farm. I mean, like seriously bug farm. But I don't think it's gonna be enough, you know? Like, so yeah, so Urban has enough that he's gonna skip both treasures, right? Like, it's gonna be like Max is going, so it's gonna be close because I mean, again, it's gonna be super streamlined for Urban. Urban just needs to get like he just needs to get, I think he just needs to get the big bread bug and the egg. So I think he just needs to make a beeline for the egg. Where is the egg? Yeah, there he is. Yeah, this is perfect RNG for Urban. But it's just like, and look, it's gonna be great. It is gonna be genuinely great for Urban, but it's just not gonna be enough, you know? And it's just kind of sad because it's like if he hadn't taken a huge deficit elsewhere, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say because he is actually gonna pull ahead here. Like or not ahead, but like, you know, it's, you know, like it's gonna be close. Is all I'm trying to say. Urban might get health glitched. He just needs to not. He just needed to wait to collect this until the bread bug was dead. You know. Are you gonna turn and check? Are you gonna turn and check, Urban? You gonna check? Okay, no, yes. Oh, jeez. Yeah. GG's. Look how close this was at the end. It's kind of crazy. Within 30 seconds.
Wow, imagine if 2 didn't have the cookie.
Yeah, Max would have lost. Max would have just straight up lost if the cookie got bread bugged. GG's.
GG.
Oh, GG's. Max, you're a maniac.
That is absolutely correct.
What's up?
What's up, Max? Oh wait, that's not Max. That's Urban.
It's Urban. How's it going,
Was
my
it-
dude? It was, you would have won
Good.
if Max didn't get lucky on the cookie.
That's bullshit.
a little bit.
Also, I'll just point out, I think these are like my time is the fastest time in the tournament so far, and apparently Max beat me, so that's kind of insane.
Yeah. Well, what was your time, Max?
136.49.
What was
Wow.
yours?
137.18,
Yeah. So you guys were about 20 seconds apart.
Jesus.
30.
30. Honestly, like there was just like 2 sub levels. Like there were maybe 3. So I don't know. My commentary, I got a little bit brutal at some points. But like in general, there was like 3 sub levels in which Max took the lead, and then it was just kind of even across the board. There was a little bit more where, of course, when Urban went for FC6, it obviously made the deficit wider, and then of course you closed it right at the end. But Max was super low on Pokos, and if like the cookie had gotten bread bugged in like an alternate layout,
Yeah.
Or just not been viable.
yeah, then you probably would have lost to Urban, honestly. But it was
It was-
close.
Yeah.
The really big
How
separating
did
factor
memory
is
cards compare?
what?
I said, how did memory cards compare?
Pretty close actually. Max had a little bit of an edge maybe, but it was close enough that it wasn't like 2 seconds per load or anything like that.
Okay,
That makes me feel
that's
better.
fair.
I would
Like
have
for
hit with one
example,
of my
like in terms of loads, like you guys were basically
I mean,
even.
I will point out, even if it's like half a second, there are enough saves that like that's
I don't
the
think
run,
it was.
right?
Oh, I don't think it was 30. Let's just say I don't think it was 30 seconds worth total cumulative.
That's fair. Yeah.
Like also in terms of overall loading, like Urban, like you were ahead of Max into Enter EC. So like in terms of like overall Wii Nintendo loads, you guys were pretty even. So no, it was really just honestly, it was kind of crazy because like so Urban, like just to give like a brief summary, like Urban, you were ahead by like 20 seconds into BK. So
Yeah,
Urban,
I flubbed right BK 6 and 7, I know.
you've loved to no, I mean, and that was just kind of and the hard part about these close races, right, is like that kind of was I don't want to say that was it because it did fluctuate a little bit after that, but like you were then kind of 20 seconds behind Max after out of BK. Which I mean it happens. And then here's the thing is Max had a little bit of a tighter read on 1 than you did, and he was able to get tape.
One what floor? Oh,
SCX
SCX 1? Yeah, that's fair.
Also,
I mean,
I
I
don't
thought about it, but like it wasn't gonna get me a skip of anything
I don't think that was
extra.
the right call, honestly, but it made it a little bit awkward in terms of comparing you two. Also,
Yeah,
I don't know, there was some
we
yeah.
were like I assume he was also low on bodies. It sounds like he was.
Yeah.
Not
Which
really. It
was
was a
why
little low.
I mean, I didn't get my tights, and then like SH2 didn't make up for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
Somehow,
quite a
I don't
bad
know
seat for
how,
bodies.
out of Snaggart Hole, Max was like 8 Pokos ahead of you, which isn't enough that like like it didn't make a huge difference, but it was just enough that Max was a little bit like, oh, I'm low, but not too low, whereas you were kind of in like,
I
I
had
can't think how low I was. Like,
49.22 exiting BK. That
yeah,
BK
I
6 was
think
fucking
Max was 9
stupid
Pokos
though.
more.
Yeah, the
I think
BK6 was
BK6
really
like
confusing.
Like, yeah, I think it was like, jeez. And then there was just some other stuff where like, I don't know. I think there was just like some moments in which, yeah, I think what Max does really well is I think there's some things in which Max overextended and got burned a little bit more. Like, I think a really interesting case study is like, Urban outplayed Max on SCX6 by a lot.
Yeah.
Because Urban just handled the hazards a little bit better. But then there were things on like SCX7, I liked Urban's strategy more, but for some reason he didn't save any time over Max. I think it'd be really interesting to do like actually lining them up and comparing the two strategies and like seeing them because I think there's some moments in which like I don't know, it felt like Urban stood around a little bit more. I mean, I know that when you're playing it doesn't feel like that, but like it was just interesting to watch. 'Cause I
Wait,
like
what did Urban do on S6-7?
matches, but it did feel like there was just some lag somewhere, just as I saw them go up and down. But overall, of course, this is a very, I mean, what is 30 seconds the closest a race has ever been so far?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Again, this is the best time. Like my time, I was actually pretty confident coming in here that I had won because I'm like, oh, this is the best time in the tournament so far.
Yeah.
The luck in general, like there were some bad floors, but it was very good. It's like,
Yeah.
why
one
can't I get
Urban-
this in a real run?
The one Urban that I don't want to. I was more mad in the commentary, so I don't want you to watch that because you're gonna be like, why is Alex so mean?
I want you to know I am not going to watch the commentary. Like I cannot bear that. My soul cannot bear that.
Honestly, my soul couldn't bear watching commentary on my play versus Curtis. So there you go. I was gonna say no, I was gonna say on FC3 there was the one where you saw the thing, but then you went back and you dismissed and you. I don't know. There's something weird on FC3.
Yeah, it was. I was just so confident it was in that room, and then it wasn't. The
I
candle
was
had
pretty
been in that
Like
room.
before that,
well.
you located the ring like really well, like way faster than Max did. But then you
Yeah.
like went back and you whistled off of the bell. Like you whistled
Well,
off
I
of
was
the.
worried about the Bulbman, which I knew was like running around there. Yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely could have played that better for
it's
sure.
kind of awkward because it cost. It's one of the things where I know that doesn't feel like it lost a lot of time, but like
No, like you're fine.
yeah, like it just lost a lot more time. It lost a lot more time than I expected because like again, you had the read better than Max because Max was wandering around lost for longer than you, but Max still was able to kind of get everything in a little bit more, and I just think it's because if you had found the ring and you had just swarmed it and started the dig and then went
Well,
back, you would have just
the
gotten it.
problem, like I had hardcore committed to Candle kind of being in that room, off that room because there were 3 alcoves in there, and I was like, oh, it has to be in here, and I should have tried to see it, and I didn't. And if
What it's
I
worth,
All right,
Max
we
and you both made the same misread there, for what it's worth.
start to wrap this up here.
Yeah, sorry, we can wrap this up. All right.
Alright,
Well, GG
so,
to the races.
yeah.
It was a close one.
Really
GG,
close
this
race,
was,
guys.
fun
Shame,
to
but
watch.
unfortunately, Urban is going to be knocked down to the losers bracket here.
where I will win 4 rounds in a row.
Hell
Yes,
yeah.
of course. And so our next match that's scheduled will be on Wednesday at
You can
3
watch me lose to
p.m.
Kemi at 2 p.m.
Eastern time.
Yeah, I'm
between
hoping
Cap
for it.
and Kemi.
Damn, Urban.
We've been no, I can't be the only one to be usurped.
That's true. All right. See you guys.
So we will see
Later,
you
guys.
then. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Take care all.